Hello, welcome back. My next project is a dog bowl. I found in the past that dogs really like to eat or drink from a wooden bowl. I don't know if it's just my imagination or it's because it's hard to talk to the dogs or reality, but they just seem to really appreciate a wooden bowl to have their food from. I think it must feel nicer on the tongue than a metal bowl and not as harsh on the teeth if they catch it. So to this end, I'm going to make 2 new wooden bowls, and part of the design principle with these is to make them heavy. They've got to have a thick base and thick sides, because then it's much harder for the dog, who can be a bit, let's be honest, a bit numb sometimes, to knock it over or knock it out of the way or anything. So it's going to have a big flat base that's thick and heavy, just for stability. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So I've got this lovely lump of larch. It's 4 inches by 4 inches, so I'm going to glue 2 sides together to make it wide enough to make a bowl. And in order to glue it, I'm going to make one smooth side with the plane, and that way the glue sticks better. So I'm going to divide this into 4 1-foot lengths, and that'll give me 2 1-foot long bowls if they're oval. So now I've paired these up with the faces that match each other the best. So we flip them over, and then I get me bowl template. So that's the top. So what I'm going to do is the hollowing out. So this will be the bowl sides. So then if I turn them this way around. So later on I'm going to be using this arbor on the angle grinder. So it would make sense not to do a smaller diameter than this arbor, because then it won't cut. So I'm going to use this draw around to make the bowl. And that way I know that this arbor will do it. So we've got 2 hollowed out sides, and now we come to the all-important gluing. So I've got this polyurethane glue. It's slightly expanding and it's waterproof. So I'm going to apply it to both sides. I'm a great believer in the physical contact of putting the glue on. I don't know, it seems to just help it with its final stick. Maybe it breaks down surface tension, maybe it removes a little bit of surface film or dust, I don't know. But I do like to put it on both sides, and I like to put it on physically with the plastic end. So I'm not dribbling it from a height, actually physically putting it on. Now we've got this vise, like a wood carving vise, which applies a lot of pressure. I'm going to use that for the initial setup, and then we've got some clamps to use. That should be enough glue. This thing's fab, it puts a lot of pressure on. So now I'm going to remove it out of the vise thing and put the last clamp in the middle, and then I can start the other one. I thought it'd be really nice to do a bit of research on Vikings and their dogs. Dogs were a really important part of Viking society. They had a multifaceted role, from guardians of the house and livestock to just companions and pets, to also hunting partners for hunting I imagine rabbits and deer and all sorts of birds and things. So the various breeds that Vikings prized were the Spitz type dogs and large Mastiff type breeds, which were prized for their loyalty. They were kept in and around the Viking settlements, and they would obviously be an early warning system against threats. Vikings had a really strong cultural affinity with the dogs, and that is really well put across in the Viking folklore. And there was a giant dog that were in Norse mythology and the sagas that was called Gamra, which was a monstrous guardian of the underworld. So it was right through Viking mythology and society, dogs were very important. So they loved their four-legged friends just in the same way that we do nowadays. So now on with the trusty vinegar, white vinegar and wire wool. Do a bit of premature aging. Now we'll see how dark this all goes, but the wolf carving at the front, I might put some something black in there so it stands out more, really black. But we'll see how this stuff works. I love how it reacts with this wood, with the larch. It reacts so quick with the tannins in the wood. Different timbers it can take like hours or even days. This is like seconds. So I've got some wire wool here, and I'm just taking the lifted grain off that was lifted by the vinegar and wire wool solution. It always lifts the grain a little bit each time you put a layer on. So I'm just knocking it back down again gently. Well, I don't want to lose any of that lovely colouring. So the wire wool is just good for that. It doesn't take too much off like sandpaper possibly could. Just a quick wire wool, nothing too spectacular. I also want it to be nice feeling for the dog, because unlike humans, dogs are much more involved with what they're eating out of. So the tongue and the nose and everything's going to be right in there. So this is part of the reason why I'm convinced that the dogs prefer a natural thing to be eaten from. I think the wood feels much nicer on the teeth, on their tongue, on their nose. They're quite sensitive, dogs. A lot more sensitive than people give them credit for quite often. And yeah, all joking aside, my experience with the other wooden bowls I've made for dogs is they do genuinely seem to enjoy getting the meal out of them. I'm going to treat these with just linseed oil. Again, it's really easy to apply, doesn't give too much of a shine, but just seals the surface nicely. Outwitted by a child-proof top. There we go. It's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? Super. So, we're going to try the bowl out with Tan. Oh, Tan, the happy dog. Hey, have you eaten out of a wooden bowl before, Tan? This is a test, and if you don't like it, then I've got to scrap the idea. Oh, yeah, it loves that. Yep, happy dog, happy bowl.